hip-hop culture, with DJs and singing, graffiti art are expressed every day within the inner cities of America and the world. You are not viewing hip-hop, you are hip-hop.
Oh, man. Okay. Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. And woo, it's been an afternoon. Let me just say that it's been an afternoon. We have our dear friend Jazzy here today. Jazzy is here with us, which is always great because if Jazzy's here, there's a great conversation coming. Is it not? Oh.
Indeed there is.
It was like, I'm going to pass the baton real quick. Hold on. But yeah, so we got a great conversation scheduled today. I want to jump right into some numbers as we normally do. We're going to get right to the conversation before we say some hellos and everything. And we were doing our talking the other day. We were doing our talking last week, and we're talking about AI today, people. We're talking about AI, and I know that there is a lot of phrases that are saying that AI is taking jobs. AI is taking your job, right? So I wanna talk about the words we choose to use. That's where I want to go today, because it's not AI that's taking your job. But I do have some numbers for you, and I'm gonna blow it up, and then Jazzy and I can just sort of jump in. But I'm hitting the highlights here. So between 2023 and 2024, over 27,000 jobs in the US were directly related to an AI layoff. Most of those were entry level or tech positions specifically. And we're also thinking that, moving forward, this is going to get really bad. Like in May 2023 alone, there were almost 4,000 jobs cut, right? That was the 7th largest cause of layoffs in that month, believe it or not. Now in the US, again, almost 24% of US companies, they are reporting that they're looking to replace workers with AI tools like ChatGPT. And about 50% of them said AI had directly replaced their roles. About 14% of US workers say they've lost a job to AI or robotic automation. And this is primarily impacting your entry-level corporate roles, as well as like your tech and what have you. So Jazzy, let me go to you. Let me start here. What have you been hearing about any kind of AI layoffs or anything related to I lost my job because?
Definitely in the tech sector, especially because a lot of AI development uses, well, we can get there, but definitely in the tech sector, in corporate entry-level jobs. But as you were going to see as we're having this conversation, I think, like Gwendolyn said from the onset, like we have to understand where it's coming from. And I also think it's important to say, how do I utilize AI to help me advance in my career and create a role for myself? And I think as these new technologies come on, we have to stay ahead of them and say, okay, if AI is going to be used, how do I benefit from AI? And how do I learn AI to help me get a new role within the role that I'm having? And how do I use AI in the role that I currently have to advance myself? So yeah, I think AI is definitely, I wouldn't say it's a problem. Like you said, it's not AI that's the problem, it's how AI is being used by these corporations that is the problem. And I think it's important to say that, because we often try to blame the tool and not the people that are in charge of the tool. We are the ones that are in charge of the tool. All of us are. So we have to recognize that.
I was like, and
yeah, and I also don't think a lot of people understand it.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
yes.
Talk about some of those trends, because here's some broader trends and projections. They are believing that when I say there's a number of organizations that are doing these reports. So I didn't list everything, but there's a number of them. But 30% of current U.S. jobs could be automated by 2030, and 60% may undergo significant task level changes. 4% of employers, they are expecting to reduce their workforce where AI can automate some tasks. And then 20 million U.S. workers may need to retrain for careers or AI related skills in the next 3 years. That's the reality. So with that, we want to talk about what is going to be the most vulnerable sectors, because there's a few places that you're going to see this being impacted. Tech and retail are one of them. Tech firms are announcing 89,000 job cuts in 2025 alone. Okay, hold on, full stop. 2025 is looking at 89,000 job cuts just in that one sector. What? Like, dude, and that's up 36%. Man, they're saying roles in legal, finance, architecture, engineering are also flagged as being susceptible to AI disruption. Though they do see a shift rather than a disappearance. That's our point. It shouldn't disappear. It should be a shift. So with that, we're letting you know that it's not AI that's taking your job. It's an executive that did it. Good afternoon. It's 4 something. It's 4 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock. No, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. There you go, which means it's time for Girl Listen. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Friday. It's Friday. We are streaming live to LinkedIn. We're streaming live to YouTube, which is great. If you're over there on YouTube, make sure to like, share. You can subscribe. You can do what you want to do. Tell a friend, tell 5,000 friends, and so on and so forth. And the world keeps on turning. Let me get to this. Let me get some of these hellos while we're getting into it. And I'm going to bring my dear friend back, my compadre. I'm going to bring it back. Mother's here because Mother likes to get in here early. Appreciate it, Ma. I'm looking out for you too. Good day to you, Mother. Jazzy, of course, is here. As she says, good evening, everyone. Ron Foster is here. Hello to you, sir. We got all the hellos coming through. Lisa is in the building. Hello to you. And she says, Jazzy, that hair is herring. Hey. Lord have mercy. Love it. You gotta love it. It is, the hair is herring. So what can we say? There you go. We got Genius Sports on. Hello to you too, partner. Good to see you. Let's get back into our conversation, because as I said before, it is not AI. As you mentioned, it's not the tool. Like, wasn't it immigrants who were taking our jobs last year? Wasn't that it? Like, it was the immigrants.
Yeah.
And before that, it was, I don't know what, like every year there is some new
computers. Yeah.
To lay off people, all while putting out crazy bonuses. Because, clearly those two things go hand in hand, right? Like, I have to lay you off because I need to get my bonus, right? Because that's how that works. So Here's our discussion today. And because we research a lot of things here, I get a number of news articles and what have you that talk about AI. Because like you, Jazzy, I understand this is not a tool to replace us. It is a tool to enhance us, how we live, how we work, how we play. I love my AI friend. My AI friend stays giving me great cocktail recipes. I'm like, I have this, and this in my house. What can I make with this? Oh, here's like 18 recipes. I was like, bruh, you keep serving. It's just a tool. It's like the calculator. It's like your computer. It's like anything else you have. You could either walk to work, or you could drive a car. You could get on a motorcycle. If you're here in Texas, you could take a horse. This is how we work. This is that. So let's get into what I discovered. Now, I read this article earlier this year about IBM. IBM replaced 8,000 staff with AI. Then they rehired them. Here's what that means. Now, in 2023, they did this proprietary AI tool for HR. and let go a lot of people, 8,000 people. And then they hired them right back 2 years later, but they hired them back. And so some of the things that they notice is that, and I picked IBM because IBM is a really big company. And when you have a really big company, they're good to use as a case to say, look what they did, because people will follow them. So they're not alone in this. There's a lot of people who are talking about, and I'm very good with word choice, I have to let go of people because of AI. Now, I'm going to call BS on that, because you don't have to do anything. There's no have to it. It is a choice. So do you use Duolingo by chance, Jazzy?
I do. I used to. I used to have a very long streak in Duolingo. I do not know the language that I used at all, but it's fine. I was honestly doing it more because of the fact that I wanted the streak to keep going than anything else. But yes, I have used Duolingo before.
So I was on there years ago.
It's a tool.
Mm-hmm. I didn't stick with it, but I came back and I couldn't help but notice how it was different. Well, they replaced a lot of people with bots. If you look on YouTube right now, people, if you just type in Duolingo, you will see a lot of videos about how customer satisfaction has dropped way down because they went to, we just want to use bots, right? This is when you put all your eggs in one basket and there's actually like a hole at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So you can say, well, maybe they shouldn't have gone that way. I don't know if they're going to bring those people back. There's been a lot of vocalization about how people are unhappy about it, but that's another one. Now, I'm still watching their story, but let's talk about IBM. I'm staying right there. So here's the deal. Here's the highlights of this deal with IBM. So they laid off 8,000 employees in 2023. They brought them back 2 years later because the AI could not fully replace human judgment, empathy, and strategic thinking. Now, again, mostly in HR, which makes sense, right? Because you can automate a couple of things with HR. That part I'm okay with, right? Like payroll, vacation requests, documentation to a certain extent. But they reported that they had $3.5 billion in productivity gains across 70 business lines and a dramatic improvement in their HR satisfaction scores. Okay, so looking pretty good. And here's the problem. 6% of the inquiries still required human intervention. You know, they involved sensitive workplace issues, ethical dilemmas, emotionally charged conversations. So they started rehiring those folks back in 2024, realizing that AI could not handle the nuance, empathy, and discretion needed for those complex human interactions. Okay, let's go there, Jazzy. Like I said, I believe in the tool doing the basic things, but you really thought that it could do all of that stuff? Like, let's talk about the nuance of humans, because we're some jacked up animals.
I think that most people don't know fully what AI is, right? So AI is a tool that is built off of human development. In other words, AI can only function by the data I put into it, right? Mm-hmm. So if I say AI bot 1 + 1 is 2, and then somebody else, right, that doesn't have the knowledge I have comes in and says, no, I'm going to retrain the bot to say 1 + 1 is 85, right? We know as humans that that is not what the answer is. But the bot in the computer, if I program it to say 1 + 1 is this, then it's going to output that number, right? Mm-hmm. So we first have to understand that it's only as smart as the humans that are training and developing the tool. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes when we look at AI, and in this example, you're seeing a prime example of a tool being trained to do certain tasks. It's saying, hey, if this component is this, then that output is this, right? But just like you said, from a human aspect of it, from the nuance side of it, especially in HR, you're dealing with ethical issues, right? If you don't train the bot to have that ethical mindset, it's not going to be able to do it. You see the same thing in programming, right? If I train a bot to program something the wrong way, it's not going to know how to fix itself unless somebody goes in and says, this is what you need to do if this happens. This is what you need to do if this happens. We're not putting all that into the daggone bots. And this is where the danger is coming in with AI, and how we as humans, right, now can say, this is where I can jump ahead of you in my corporation and say, I'm going to utilize this AI tool so that I'm going to build this bot for it, but I'm going to do something where it's like, I can train it how to do this for me, but I'm going to leave out maybe this part because you need this human element from it, right? You have to be and place yourself in a position where now I'm the person that is the subject matter expert of the said tool, instead of placing them in a position to replace you with the tool, right? I will use an example. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking when you mentioned that, yes, it can only do whatever it's trained to do. That nuance goes beyond the simple deal of the task. Like, for example, when in my former life, we talked about shades of gray, right? And fair isn't equal, right? Fair is not equal. So I know that for this person, I can give this as a result and it makes sense for that person. I can have an exact same situation, but for this person, that's not the same result that I would give. I would do something different. Shades of gray. How would you ever teach a machine to understand shades of gray? Because even we take the black and white, like, here's the black and white, don't steal. Okay? Don't steal. But for us, and again, the Container Store, if a customer bought a brand new trash can, walked outside, dropped that trash can and ruined it, and came back inside and said, this trash can was sold to me dented, I'd be like, we don't sell dented trash cans without a discount. Are you sure we did that? And they can get upset. And you're like, wait, here's the deal. You dropped it. It happens. We know that there's an incline in the parking lot. Go and grab a new one. How do you teach it to do some of those things? Whereas on the other hand, you could have a customer, because there's 2 doors to your store, right? And you're like, hey, I just got this trash can, but it's stolen. You know, like, how do you teach it some of those rules of knowing when to identify this, that, and the other? Now, Lisa has a great point here that I'm also thinking of, is that, you know, when people want to work with the customer service person, sometimes you actually want a person. No, when you click the button that says representative, I want a human. I'm looking for a human. Because if you trained your bot properly, you can possibly answer the questions, right? I don't know how many of you currently use chat to figure out something. I use chat first if I can. If your chat bot cannot answer my questions, I get agitated. If your FAQs can't answer it, I get agitated. Because if you just had really great FAQs that could link to your bot, we don't have to talk to a human. That would leave your human to deal with the things that require human interaction. But when you take the shortcut,
right?
And pardon me, mama, when you half-ass on the bot, you haven't taken away, you've added to your problems. But we look for shortcuts. Shortcuts as in, I'm gonna take this bot and get rid of the human, and then you still have problems. Because we just don't wanna do right and truly invest in both the tools we use and the people who have to use them.
And this comes down to what it is that you're trying to implement, right? Are you trying to do things in a cost-cutting measure where we save money by not training the bot to do all the things that we need to do and cutting our legs before we even can, you know, get the program started? Or are we going to sit here and actually program the AI bot to do the things that you just said, right? If I ask A, I need this output. If I ask B, this output. But in the nuance of the A, this answer can be this. You have to think of everything as a human, right? And like you just said, if people are lazy about training and they're lazy about doing that, and they're saying, okay, we're only going to put in this one answer because only one person asked this way, then you're losing your whole customer base. And to your point, then you're cutting your yourself off, right? Because I'm already dealing with the bot. Now I'm going to have to go and call somebody. I don't want to do that. Most people are going to walk away. So you're losing business, right? While you're also frustrating your customer that may never come back again because they don't have the human to talk to. I'm the person, if I call a customer service line, I'm pressing 0 until I get a person. I don't care how many times, hello, no, I don't like it. I cannot stand it. I'm with you, Lisa. That's like a pet peeve of mine. So, because I understand there's a human element that I need in some of the questions I'm going to ask, and the bots on the chat, they're not going to be able to answer them, right? So some of that has to do with sheer laziness, honestly, on the company's behalf, because they're trying to undercut their bottom line, but not testing this the right way. And understanding, though, from a human component, right? Understanding that, again, jump ahead of it. How do I now place myself in ahead of the tool and say, okay, here's how you can utilize me in training your bot, right? I can be the person that programs the bot. I can be the person that does the nuances. I can be the person that makes sure that all the things that I'm looking for now currently in the role that I'm looking to do is answered through this bot. And I'm going to be the person that if that bot doesn't do it right and it breaks, I'm going to be the person to fix it because I know all the answers anyway. That's what you have to do. Right. Well, so you have to do that.
Perfect segue into what we learned from IBM's clear mass of, I'm gonna get rid of 8,000 people, and now I have to hire them back plus a few extra. So what we learned was AI does not eliminate jobs. It does not. It reshapes the jobs that you have. IBM's experience shows that an automation often leads to redeployment, not permanent removal. The company redirected savings into higher value roles like software engineering, sales, marketing, areas where human creativity and strategic thinking are irreplaceable. IBM CEO framed the shift as changing the shape of work, not just cutting headcount, which is where a lot of people go. Before we go to this article, I wanted to stop right there. You and I had a chat about how brick and mortar killed brick and mortar. And what I said was, brick and mortar stores truly killed themselves, right? Because you go to a place, and I'm gonna say it, somebody in the office on the executive team got a little greedy. I don't care if it's your shareholders, your board, whoever it is, they got greedy. Say, you know what? Let's just get rid of some humans and let's put in self-checkout. Now, I'm a self-checkout person because former retail, sometimes I don't want to talk to people. I want to go in, get my stuff, and walk out. However, here's what doesn't work. You put in self-checkout that has to be manned by one person at the front who's also working the register. So you put in self-checkout. You have one person to watch the register. You have one other person on the floor. You lock up all the things that you think people are going to steal. So half your store is behind a cave. And it requires us to push a button to get that stuff. But there's nobody on the floor to get the stuff, the person at the front, because the two checkout registers that require help, well, she's busy. So you got one self-checkout that needs someone to type in a license because they're buying Tylenol or something that, or alcohol. And then the other one is acting wonky because it's just, I don't know what it wants to do. And then the lady who's working the register already has two folks in line, and it's stupid. It's stupid. So you're like, hey, if I have to service myself, why do I need to go into a store? Why not just go online? Why not? Why not? Why not say, hey, if I'm going to be the person to pick up my own stuff and scan my own stuff out, why do I need to come in here? I could save my time and gas and frustration from driving by just shopping online. You push folks towards Amazon and other online places because you don't have people in the store. The one thing we learned at the Container Store was that when you have people who service people, there's a lower chance of loss prevention because now there is always somebody in your face looking at you. saying, "Hey, Jazzy, how's it going? Jazzy, didn't you have a trash can in your hand? What's in the trash can? You're not gonna buy it? What?" Yeah. You have people who are looking at you. They're in your face every single moment. How do you possibly, not that you can't steal, because we still had some, but it's harder to steal because someone's always there to genuinely service you, not to watch you around the store and like, follow you. Genuinely service you. Real customer service. Not this BS thing that Target's doing, like 10-4, like smile if someone's looking. That ain't service, okay? That's just being respectful. That's not service.
Yeah. Target has an actual, I will say, is, I know we're on the Target boycott, but I will say Target has a very good loss prevention program, like top tier. And I don't think people realize how top tier their loss prevention is, and don't go in there and be all crazy. You shouldn't be in there anyway. But if you are going in there, if you are going in there, just know, don't go in there being all willy-nilly and stealing stuff out of there, because they let you steal up to a certain amount so they can charge you with a felony. Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Just FYI, people. Before you
right.
FYI, stores will let you run up your lost bill. So when they charge you, it goes in separately. Okay, little FYI.
It's a felony. Yes. Yeah. So stop doing that, because y'all think y'all being slick. You're not. But I think it was Walmart. I believe it was. It was Walmart that basically, this was a couple of years ago. So they have self-checkout, and what they were noticing was they were having a loss prevention issue, and so they basically were like, listen. They started this initiative to pretty much eliminate self-checkout from their stores. Now, I don't know if this was halted, but they did this because, again, just like IBM, there was something there where they were like, hey, we actually need people in these places, right? So when I look at AI again, I think, and I also don't think that people realize how long AI has been a thing. We have been using AI for like 20 years. People just don't know it, and because it's not exactly called AI, right? So there are a lot of right, yeah, and there's little nuances that are being done, right? That utilize AI bots, AI tools, but AI is a name for a whole segment of stuff, right? So I just think that sometimes when we look at the human component of it, right, and we're saying to ourselves, all right, what can the AI bot do that I cannot do as a human? There are things right now, if you type in certain questions to ChatGPT, they will give you the wrong answer. The bot will be so confident and give you the absolute wrong answer, right? And so I think sometimes we have to be careful, because I'm very, very like, I know somebody that uses AI in a way where like they literally will call the AI bot and just have a conversation with it. And I'm like, girl, what are we doing? and the thing that they're noticing, to your point earlier about the nuance of it, is like the AI bot is always going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. If I say, hey, I'm feeling a little sad today and I want to go to the zoo, but it's 70 below zero, it's probably going to be like, I'm sad that you're feeling sad. There's a zoo for you somewhere. Like, it's just going to always agree with you, because it doesn't have the wherewithal to say, hey, that sounds dumb, right? Like that you maybe shouldn't do that. So we have to be aware that the AI technology is only so advanced. We can only, and I say this because we have in work, there's always people that, there's a knowledge that we have. We pass down knowledge to each other, right? And there's a tendency not to pass down knowledge to each other because we want our job placement, right? So we're like, okay, I'm not going to share that with you. And there's kind of something similar happening with AI right now, where it's kind of like gotten so intelligent to a certain degree, but it's kind of like this stopgap a little bit, where it's kind of like, okay, now I'm starting to feed you wrong information because so many people have the ability now to tap into it. And if you're dumb, it's going to be dumb. And I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. If you keep teaching it dumbness, right, it's going to output dumb. Dumb plus dumb equals dumb. So you know what I mean? Like I think there's just so much that goes on with this that I think sometimes we scare ourselves because we're like, there's no way, it's always going to overtake us. But it's not. Like, there's ways that we can stop it. So, yeah.
So two things before we get to Lisa's comment. There was a lady who did a thing about like AI, and she said, you have to know you are talking to one of the best liars in the world. I mean, They are confident with their lie. They come across like, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. And I mean, the hallucinations can be out of pocket. This guy, and I believe it's satire, but you can't do it. He created this company where he's the only human and all of his colleagues are AI. And he said he got this phone call wanting a product update, and he had talked to this AI and he gave all this info for work he had not done. He's like, first of all, why are they talking without me in the conversation? And second of all, they're lying. They have not done any of the work, is insane. But Lisa says they said Target gives surveillance to the government. That's how good their surveillance and loss prevention system is, especially those cameras that self-checkout. Hey, people who do.
Yes.
They're just letting you run up that tab. So when they finally decide to call you, then it's like, hey, it's not just a simple thing, it's a bigger thing. And then when you check them, so this is about the AI telling lies, that when you check your AI tool on the wrong answer, they're like, oh, you're right, Lisa, thanks for catching that. I've had that I don't know how many times.
I did that.
I scanned in a sticker and it said, that sticker belongs to a Nissan. I need the sticker from the washing machine. I said, that's not a Nissan sticker. You know what? Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. No, you didn't get confused. You didn't get confused.
Exactly. So, yes, and this is the thing. And you're seeing it more and more where it's like, you're seeing that more and more, but the more I see it, I'm like, so how do I trust what you're saying? Which is why, we are from generations where we had encyclopedias, right? My mom was famous for, we used to go up to my mom and we'd be like, Mommy, like, how do you spell whatever word? And she would say, look it up in the dictionary. And it would annoy the living daylights out of me because I'd be like, I don't know how to spell it. How do I look it up in the dictionary? Like, what are you talking about? And so it used to annoy me, but we would have to go look it up. And then once we looked it up, it was like, okay, because we are now seeing like the alpha generation and to an extent Gen Z, they have the ability to pick up a phone right now and say, how do you spell pneumonia? Do you know the problems I had looking that daggone word up in the dictionary? I was lost for days. I was like, okay. I was lost for days. You know what I mean? But we had the wherewithal to say, okay, now this doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to tell you this doesn't make any sense, right? But again, we're getting to a point where if people don't know the right answer, how do I retrain it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I retrain something that I don't know myself? And again, this is where another tool you can use to say, hey, this is why I'm beneficial to this job. I will tell you, in 2020, what I did was on working in my office, right? And they sent us home for a second. And I was in my mind like, okay, how do I do this from home? Because our job was an on-location job. It wasn't a job that you were supposed to be able to do from home. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to become a subject matter expert in Zoom. There's nothing about Zoom that you can tell me today that I do not know how to fix. Because I was so good at it. I was running 300-person conferences, 40,000 people conferences from my house. And that's what you have to do with these tools. You have to say, okay, how do I use this to my advantage and stop allowing them to tell you this is going to take over your job? No. How do I say now, okay, what is AI? How do I learn it? How do I tap into it so that I still am valuable as the human component to the AI, not the other way around. Don't allow them to eliminate your job, because you can say, hey, well, this AI can do this, but they can't read the data that I can read in a timely manner and pick out the things that I need to know from this data set, right? You have to think like that, like think outside of the box, basically, to get where you need to go.
Box. But more importantly, here's how I have always believed tools should work. They are there to enhance, not replace. So
yes,
we all have ways to get around. So you got 2 legs. You can walk. You can take a bike. You can take a motorcycle. You can take a scooter. You can take a bus. You can drive in your own personal car. You still get to the same destination. It's to enhance. That's all it is. It is to enhance. It's not like if this happened, you still can do X, Y, Z. If the power goes out, I can still add sales and do a paper ticket, and like we can still conduct business. We can still do that. Right. We can still do it. So where we go wrong, and I'm using we very kindly, is that some of us, not all, we see the tool as a way to be greedy and to line our pockets. You can take this tool, you can enhance the person's job. They can be more efficient. You can enhance your customer satisfaction and service level. You can take what's happening now into the future. You're just thinking, I want to take care of the jobs here today, but that's today. That's not tomorrow. That's not 5 years in the future. We are too short-sighted, right? That we don't think beyond what's happening right here today. You're getting rid of jobs like IBM thinking, okay, that's it. Well, how we apply for a job has changed. I don't see a newspaper with like one ads. That's not there anymore. That's how I got my jobs back in the day. Put it in the want ad, right?
The Gazette. That's how the local Gazette.
How we work, how we live, how we play has adjusted. And a lot of these people who are eliminating jobs versus reframing the job, they have this right here, right now view of the world. They're not dreamers. They don't have, and clearly there are no dreamers at the table. Yeah, I said that. There are no dreamers at the table. If you were really dreaming about what the world could look like with this tool, you would not have done what IBM did and fire 8,000 people and then realize, oh snap, I got to bring them back. And then some, because there are other jobs that need to be there, because you're seeing the change of how we're operating as a people. So let's go here. Because it's not only that one side that I believe is part of this horrible equation, but it's even how we as workers see it. So somebody said a Gen X person clearly wrote this, but workers turn to polyworking to combat frozen salaries and inflation. You know what I hate? I hate how they make a name for everything. I hate how they decide to make it seem normal. Like this should not be normal. So this whole thing is about workers facing frozen salaries and inflation and the fear of layoff. There's that fear showed up again, that they have decided to branch out from their traditional careers, and they are taking on side jobs to bring in additional income and provide a backup plan should they find themselves out of work, adding a second, third, and sometimes a fourth job, what some are calling polyworking. Now, this chick is 29 years old. She got 4 jobs. I was like, is she Jamaican? Which I know that's so rude. But back in, I mean, hey, was that not a stereotype back in the day?
11 color day. I was gonna say,
right. Why are they trying to normalize it? So before I let you add your take, I went to the comments, and I want to point out these comments because I thought clearly I'm not the only person who recognizes this as being wrong. Society has failed people if polyworking is seen as logical. Really? So gross. This is called struggling to make ends meet, not polyworking. And it shouldn't be normalized. No one should have to work multiple jobs to exist, especially while the rich do literally no work for anyone and live off interest from their inherited wealth. Completely uncivilized society. Lastly, Yes, let's continue to normalize and lionize folks living to work because a standard job is no longer paying a living wage for most people. Okay. So I'm not out here alone. I'm not the only person who recognizes this ain't normal, people. This is not normal. What say you,
This
Jazzy?
is something that I've always said. I've been working since I was 12. So my first job was at the YMCA. It was a leadership program that they gave me a stipend for at the end of the summer. I was so excited about it because I got $800 for 8 weeks of work, which is ridiculous, but whatever. But I was really excited. I remember my mom being like, okay, yay. Like, that's not really good, but okay. But I think I don't know if y'all remember the show Making the Band. And one of the things that used to get on my nerves in that show was that man that shall not be named, used to say, you gotta work for it. You don't need to sleep. You gotta work for it. And I said, no. I don't desire to not sleep, right? The fact that we normalize this hustle mentality and everybody has to dig themselves into a grave in order to get basic necessities has always been ridiculous to me, right? I love to work. I like working. I like going to work. It's something that it gives me a sense of purpose, right? Like, I'm not a person where, I would love to do things that and I do work a job where I'm fortunate enough to say, okay, like, I like what I do when I show up to work, right? And I work with great people. But I think sometimes people are just like, you need to have 17 income streams of revenue, because if you're not, then that's dumb. And I'm like, why are we normalizing 17 streams of income? Like, why do we think that's a flex? That is not a flex to me. I should be able to have literally one stream of income and say, I'm good. And I can have my life too, right? I don't want to have a Etsy shop selling bracelets that I made. And if that's your thing, that's your thing, right? But I don't want to do that. I don't desire to do that. I cannot paint, right? If you saw me draw a picture, I send pictures to people sometimes. Some of my friends, they know I will draw like little sketches of people and I will send them to people and they will laugh at me because I cannot draw. Okay, that is not my forte. It's not my thing. But I don't really desire to want to work 7 and 8 jobs. When you go to other countries, that is the one thing I love about other countries. They understand. Heck, in Spain, they have a whole siesta during the middle of the daggone day so they can go and take a nap. They understand the value of having your life to enjoy it and not just having a life to go to work every day. We, in our culture, in our society, we have made it a thing where we tell people, you know what, if you're not hustling enough, then you're not really trying. And it's like, again, why should I have 17 jobs so that I can say I got a Mercedes Benz that I won't ever be able to enjoy because I'm at my 17 jobs?
Yes.
I don't want that.
My mother,
I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for anybody.
She said, take your PTO, because when you are dead and gone, they will find someone to work your shift. I've always lived by that. When I take my PTO, that's paid time off. Why would I go on my PTO and work? Like, why be on vacation still working? You're getting paid. Like, the whole idea
I will say
is to rest. Now, what I did read in another a recent article, that people are taking PTO not to take vacation, but to just sleep. They're taking paid time off just to make sure they can catch up on sleep. What is the point? And you are correct. This whole idea of hustling and doing all of this work to eventually retire and then a week or so later pass over, and you never enjoy the fruits of your labor. Why? Why would you ever
exactly
do that? And we have, as you mentioned, normalize it. We'll do I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, what's the point of that? Like, it makes no sense. And hello to you. Good evening, Bryson. What is the point of that? Like, why do all of this and never enjoy it? Make it make sense.
And I will say something too, because I told you this yesterday. I am guilty because my mom says the same thing to me all the time. Take your PTO, take your PTO, heck, my boss even tells me, what are you doing? Take your PTO, because I'm guilty of hoarding my PTO, really. And it's not even because I'm really wanting to hoard the PTO, but part of it is because for me, I'm like, I work from home. So like, I feel like if I'm not going to go anywhere, like actually go somewhere, then it's like, well, why am I taking the PTO? Because I'm just going to sit in the house where I have an office and I could just go into the office and work. Like that's the way my mind is set up. And my mom is like, what is wrong with you? Go and enjoy your time. Like go outside, right? Like it's okay. Like walk out of your house and do something that's not in your house. And I'm like, why? Like what? Why? And so a lot of people that are younger, part of the reason why they're taking their PTO to sleep is because they genuinely do not have money to go anywhere, right? I was joking with my sister.
Hold on. Now I understand. Yes. As Lucy said, she said, "No, I'm going to sleep, but I'm sleepy." Ditto. I understand that. Again, our society makes it seem as if you're not going on some trip to Bora Bora, that you're not living. Here's the deal.
Oh no.
Just taking the time for yourself. That could be time at the park with the ducks. That could be time to read some books. That could be time to just work in your garden. That could be time to just sit still.
Yeah.
It is time for self, and you still get paid for that. You don't have to go somewhere. Going outside is going somewhere. Doing nothing is doing something.
And I have learned that because I've learned, like, I recently took off 2 days. I think I was like, woo. But I just literally one day I just sat in here. I genuinely like slept. But the other day I went outside. My mom was proud of me. I was like, oh, I went outside today. But I often, I'm not lying. Honestly, it was kind of bad for a minute because I was like, there's no reason to go outside. Like, I can get my groceries delivered. I was at that point. But I have also, I live in Maryland. I have also driven to DC and stayed in a hotel in DC and had a time. Like I literally the last 3 years, every year I've just gone down to this hotel in DC and I love it. And I go and I have my little mini staycation and I go and walk around the monuments as if I'm a tourist and I have my little fun and then I go home. And every year it's my thing, right? And I think sometimes you just have to learn how to enjoy yourself and honestly figure out what you value. And we had this conversation too. It's like, what do you value? What are the things outside of work that you value? Is it your free time? Is it your family? Is it having, like you said, going to look at the ducks? Is it going to fish? Is it going to garden? What is it that makes you outside of your job? Like I will sit here and color. My thing is coloring. That's my de-stressor. I will color adult coloring books because I love it, right? And I will just color all day long. And I'll be like, okay, cool. It's my de-stressor. So I think we just have to find out where we are, what we want for ourselves, and not to be afraid to take the time off. And I'm talking to myself in this moment because I used to be a freelancer. So I was always on that hustle mentality where it was like, if I take off, I don't get money and then I can't eat, right? So I'm from that phase. And I even had to learn how to get out of that. When I left my old job, my one boss was like, hey, you are at your max hours for PTO. And I was like, oh yeah. She was like, why didn't you take vacation? I was like, I don't. And I had to, and my mom, kept hearing my mom in my head, take the vacation, have the fun. You can't take the money with you and your dad. And I'm just like, but I can
we'll have to have a conversation about self-exploitation.
Oh yeah.
That is the thing. A number of us engage in self-exploitation. So we'll have to talk about that. But here's where I'm going with this. Here's where we're going with this. There is another option. And I know people talk about capitalism like it's the worst thing ever. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Capitalism is also a tool. is how you choose to use it. There are a number of people that are conscious capitalists. When we talk about the fact that people, and let me go back to our screen. Hold up really quick. When we talk about the people, these CEOs who, and I just saw 2 more videos today where guys like, I have to reduce the workforce. No, you don't. It is a choice to reduce the workforce. Yeah. It is a conscious decision to do what you're doing. You do not have to exploit people. You do not have to pay them less than what they are worth. Those are conscious decisions that are being made. And yes, they should be held accountable for those decisions. Why? Because there are conscious capitalists. There are people who understand that you can create a world where everyone, every single business and everyone benefits from it. The vendors benefit, the customers benefit, the employees benefit. Everybody can win. It is a decision to do anything other than. Now, I got a little video here because I do. Oh, wow. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's interesting. Wait a minute. It didn't want to play the video. Or did it play? Did anybody see it? Oh, it played? Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see. Let's see if it's going to do it. Let me go back to it. Okay, there it is. I was like, I don't see my screen. Okay, here it is. You can be a conscious capitalist. This is where your business philosophy meets your profit. There are local chapters. There's definitely one here in Dallas. You don't have to do work the way everybody does work. You don't have to do it. No, you don't. It's a choice. The idea of conscious capitalism goes considerably beyond being virtuous or seeking to do well by doing good. This is about actually putting all of your words on paper and putting it on the ground. Like you are in it. It is a choice to do what they're doing in terms of eliminating jobs versus saying, hey, how can we envision this to make life better for our employees, for our customers, for our vendors, for the entire world? That's a conscious decision. The same way you decide to get rid of 89,000 jobs, 5,000 jobs, that's a conscious decision. That's not, well, the AI made me do it. No, it didn't. There's no magic 8-ball. Like,
yeah,
see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it works. That's not, I don't have, yes, Lisa, same thing. There are no issues here as Jazzy replies that she's a work in progress. Yes, she is. It is a work in progress to realize that there's more to life than just working. We are more than a job title. We are more than a job. The good Lord didn't bring you here this morning in this moment to just do the one thing you're doing for somebody else. As my mother also said, you work with people, not for them. So I don't work with, or I should say, I work with, not for. You know, if I say, oh, well, I work for so-and-so. No, you don't. But different mentality. It takes some time, you know.
Yeah.
Let me get your final thoughts, Jazzy, on where you see this going. And do you believe, because people are talking about this AI bubble busting because of all the dumbness in the AI?
I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe that's what's going to happen, but I also think that we do have to be conscious of where AI is going and understand how we can get ahead of it so that we don't lose the employment that we have, right? Because again, we are not always the ones that are making these decisions. So now we have the ability to make decisions for ourselves and say, okay, I'm going to learn the tool and I'm going to utilize it to my advantage, not to so that it can disadvantage me. But I also think that, you know, just know that there is no tool that is smarter than a human, right? Like there are tools that are there, but there's nothing that these tools can do without human input. So for me, I'm looking at it, and although in some ways, it scares me from a tech industry perspective in certain roles and certain jobs, right? I have to, again, understand how do I use this to my benefit instead of to disadvantage me. And also, I did want to point out something just in the fact of like being laid off, right? There is this thing called the WARN notices that every state has. They have to report when they're doing mass layoffs, and every state has a website that you can go to and look and see if your job or company is about to do a mass layoff. So I just wanted to throw that out there because right now it's still regulated that you can get on those websites and see that notice and jump ahead of that for yourself and say, hey, how do I get ahead of this, or where do I need to jump to, or am I going to be impacted by these layoffs, potential layoffs, right? And what do I do to get ahead of it? And just keep your skill set up and know that there are things that you can do that AI cannot do.
Oh,
It's just all about how you branch yourself out, you know?
It is a tool. As I bring in Lisa's comment, she says, Jazzy, she's talking to you. Perfect time for you to honor yourself as we come to the end of this year. 2026 is your year. I say ditto. And let me add my thoughts to that, because we immediately think of, and this is why I don't operate in fear. People in Texas still ride their horses. They still use horsepower to get around. Okay.
Yeah.
And they still have their car, right? So you have the tool. Yeah. You got the tool. Use the tool. But change is inevitable. It is always going to be there. Yeah. So just when you think I'm comfortable, do not. I believe, and I hate using should, because you shouldn't go shouldn't on people, but you should adopt the idea of being a lifelong learner. The world is always changing. It is always moving and grooving. Don't be in fear. Don't be afraid of like what's coming. If you're here for a reason. Whatever that purpose is, hey, fulfill that. But to operate and I don't know what to do. We know change is inevitable. We know that it's inevitable. Like people, well, I don't want to talk about fashion because fashion comes and goes. So let me not use it as my example. I do want to not a good example. Somebody brought back jellies this past season or a year, and I'm thinking jellies.
Oh no. Man!
So let me do our upcoming events really quick. Before I do the events, I want to shout out my friends over at the conference call.
Hello and welcome to the Recap Show. My name is Chris Edwards. I'm here with my other two co-hosts, TJ and Ronald. Every week we join you and recap one of your favorite shows. So don't forget to like our page, to subscribe, and to also hit the notification button so you can get notified every week when we drop new videos. New videos drop every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Thank you guys for watching, and we can't wait to see you guys next week.
Let me also shout out the young lady who keeps me styled with all of my beautiful glasses, Gliss Optical. They will style you virtually. So if you're looking for some really nice frames, check out glissopticalonline.com. Amber and her team will take care of you. We have Work and Chill every Thursday from 1 to 4. We have great conversations in Work and Chill. Now Go Brunch gave us some issues yesterday, but that didn't really stop us. It wasn't until the end. But come through 1 to 4 every Thursday. And I know we're almost ready for the holiday season, so I may not be there. But you are free to still come through. The room is always open. If you haven't already, get on the Mature and Marvelous email list. I am due to put something out. I am due because this month is like quickly approaching the halfway mark. And let me go ahead and shout myself out too, because G for Type by G, we are ripe and ready. This is that season to get your fall portraits done. Get ready for the spring. For those of you who are graduating seniors, Gwendolyn does what she does. And so I don't want to leave myself out because heck, why not, right? Promote myself too. All right, let's get these last two comments and roll it in. And she's like, I got some. Yes, Lisa did. We do a little bit of everything in our Work and Chill, but we really do have a great time. We had a great time yesterday. So I'm gonna leave with this. I understand where we are in the world, and I go back to we need more dreamers. The one thing I loved about the Container Store when I worked there is that we had a room called Blue Sky. And we went in that room as Mr. Jack calls me on my phone. Now, I know good and darn well, I'm live. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I should answer. I'm not going to answer because that's rude. But he is not on the do not disturb list. Of course, his calls come through. But we had a room where we would just dream about how we can use technology to make it better for the employees, our vendors, and our customers. That was what we did. We need more dreamers. Okay. So think about how can you use AI to make your life better, make someone else's life better, make the job you have more efficient. Go there. And for these CEOs who keep laying off people, everybody get their comeuppance. That's how I look at it. Everybody gets their comeuppance. Jazzy, don't leave yet. Let me go ahead and say some goodbyes here. Thank you all for tuning in today. Or if you're going to watch the replay, thank you for watching the replay too. We do appreciate it. If you haven't already, as we said before, you can like, share, and subscribe. And I would love to hear truly your ideas about AI. But if I say nothing else, let us change our verbiage. AI did not take your job, all right? That was not AI. An executive did. See you guys later. Next week, Lord willing. Hey, it's G. Thank you for watching this episode of Girl Listen. Be sure to catch me every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And while you're here, I cordially invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you all next week.